When the stock market is moving upward, we know that the effects of QE are apparent. The currency is devalued, and as a result, asset prices can rise. When we see the stock market crash, a true deflation is setting in. To follow it up, central banks step on the gas and accelerate the process of currency destruction. This has happened over and over again throughout history. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. We are going to talk about the stock market today. I'm going to share a few things that are very crucial and then connect that in with a few other points. Beginning with this article out of MarketWatch, the Dow and the S&P are on the verge of tallying 3 straight months of declines. That's big. With October shaping up to be the ugliest monthly fall since January, which is just after the Fed raised rates, a fractional percentage point. But regardless, if the Dow posts a loss in October, it would be the first time the blue chip index logged 3 consecutive monthly declines since the period ended in September 2011. So here we are heading back towards the financial crisis regarding this here. And the S&P, by the way, has already done that this year. Now, this article covers various issues that are plaguing us at this time and indicators to watch out for. One of those primary indicators is that October tends to be a very bad month. In fact, it shows you a little chart that describes all of the different crashes that have occurred in October. 1987, 20% crash. And you look at 1929, big crashes. You also look during the financial crisis, 9% crash in a particular day. So it wouldn't be rare to see some major volatility during this time. It also coincides with another point that they make, the US election. This election is causing a lot of nerves, and we can see instability in the stock market as a result. So it's important to note. There is a host of other issues in here. If you definitely have the time, you would really find this article very interesting, very quick, short summaries of the different sections, which I feel are very, very important, because we're looking at this time right now where's the growth coming from? Where will we be able to accelerate that growth beyond where we are today? Typically, historically, if the countries were growing at 3% per annum per year annually, that would be considered a recession. But now they look at 3% as excellent, steady, stable growth, and they talk about it as if it's so good. So they just change the definitions of these things. It's no different than the way they're skewing all of the other statistics simultaneously. It's worked very well because they do it in such a slow pace that it's over generations. So individuals generationally aren't seeing all of the problems, all of the propaganda. Let's look at some more articles. This happens to be a chart out of MarketWatch discussing what they call this triangle pattern. And you can clearly see it right here. As you can see, this pattern developed, and it's a squeeze. Based on the technicals anyway, where it's headed. And this isn't a good thing. This basically shows that it could be a breakdown and it could fall off into the negative territory at this point. Let's take this with a grain of salt, because I, for one, don't like to rely solely on technical indicators. A lot of people do, in fact. believe only in the technical indicators, and the computer algorithms, of course, are looking at this heavily because they trade within these seconds of the day, trade thousands and thousands of times every second. I just wanted to bring this up to you because I know a lot of individuals on here do look for the technicals, and this triangle pattern is showing some, let's say, concern. Okay, and then we go on to the next one. As you can see, China's property bubble is going very hot. In fact, the only thing I want to mention from here is that essentially what looks like, looks like a slum, but it's $2,000 a square foot for land. And that's triple the price of Manhattan. And this is the kind of, it's gone into impossible territory. These individuals can't afford this. It's unbelievable. And then a couple more things here. Saudi Arabia, they want to has work to do to ease the pressure in the kingdom's banking system. So just to preface this, oil prices declined significantly as a result. A country like Saudi Arabia, who relies primarily on oil exports, is really suffering. The interest rate banks charge on one another for loans rose by the most since August on Sunday, extending a trend that's slowing earnings and corporate borrowing in the world's biggest oil exporter. And they printed money, $5 billion worth, and it didn't have the effect they wanted to, clearly. And as a result, they only have one solution, and that is to print more. The $5 billion didn't work, so maybe $10 billion will, if not $20 billion, $50 billion, $100 billion, and they will continue. $5 billion these days isn't that significant, especially to get these markets moving. They're going to have to get those printing presses up and running, and then we can congratulate them for destroying their currency. U.S. Vice President Joe Biden basically has said they need to use tactics of cyber warfare against Russia. That is, in fact, a provocation of war. It is war, actually, not a provocation, if they go ahead and do this. It's funny because Edward Snowden took to Twitter to say, I guess he doesn't know what covert means, because you don't say it and then you do it. You do it and then maybe you talk about it afterwards. This is interesting, to say the least, because they're suggesting that Russia has had some effect on the U.S. election, having some, hackers go in and basically have their way. But we don't know what to believe, that's for sure. Last but not least, Hillary Clinton's health. If you are curious about Hillary Clinton's health, read this article. I'm not going to get into it all, but this individual who wrote this book has a lot to say. In fact, she appears at the particular hospital, not just any hospital, but she has one that she goes to, enters in through the back door, has her own doctors there because they know they can keep it under wraps, they can keep it secret. The media is apparently all in collusion with her to keep it safe, and the things that she has to keep her legs up and elevated. She gets a masseuse to rub her feet all the time. She has Huma there to rub her shoulders and get the blood flowing. She's had countless times where she's passed out before, documented times, and other rumored times as well. They describe exactly what the condition she has. So if you're interested in that, this will be, in fact, in the description. I believe I can include that. So check it out, definitely. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. And last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you'll find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. Head over to Amazon where they have a look inside feature. That's going to allow you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care.